Good morning, evening, afternoon. Masati here. Welcome to Masati on Sunday. This is where we explore what really happens in life, right? There's a lot of people out there really, really fantastic. They only scratch the surface with XI, exponential intelligence. What we do is we go much deeper. We dive deeper into, say, the cause of why things happen. That's why we get real solutions. Solutions in health, wealth, relationships, spirituality, because we go down to again, we go down to the cause of why things happen the way they do. Welcome back, guys. This is shedding the old self. This version of Masadi on Sunday, shedding the old self, embodying the resurrection frequency. What that means? We'll talk about that, and it's really huge, by the way, guys. And just want to talk about this first, and then we'll get into the impact sessions where we will bring in the resurrection frequency. As a note, on the impact sessions, I'll always be working not just on the person for you that we're interviewing, but then also you as well. So again, it's a very, very powerful session. So hold on to wherever you are. Well, actually, don't hold on. Let go of wherever you are, and we can pull you into, say, a whole new construct of reality or dimensions of time and space. Because that's how we change the world in XI. Changing dimensions of time and space, not your mental state. It's been done before. It's very slow. It's very awkward, and you don't get the best results. Again, that that's the reason why we only get to scratch the surface when you are working at the physical realm. We need to go much deeper, right? But first, Alex, if you can put those pictures of the Pope on, let me know when you've got them on. Oh, awesome. All right, guys. So just this past Sunday, right? The Pope died. Okay. So I want to talk about that in in just a second. But I had three predictions, and these predictions were way before COVID. Okay. I want to talk about those because it's really important on where we are. Okay. So the first wave was 2020, right? The collapse of the value collapse of value. Basically, that's what it was. This is where, say, the pandemic struck, or pre-pandemic. If you notice the timelines, governments even before the pandemic happened, which is kind of crazy, which is insane actually. Governments. Let me shut this down, guys. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. Even before the pandemic struck, guys, governments printed trillions of dollars and gave them all to their friends, the corporations. Kind of crazy, right? Uh, okay. So again, that's where we started to see the wealth implode. The illusion of wealth literally imploded. People began questioning value, including self-worth. That's where many people, because of the COVID, they had to stay home. They started to question everything. Is this worth it? What's going on? Why, why am I where I am today? This is where individuals who are, say, lower class or medium class, mid-level class, they started buying Gucci bags, Nike tennis shoes for $200 because their value system, their self-worth declined. So they had to prove that's like, look, I am this valuable because I have this Gucci bag or whatever that's out there. Kind of crazy stuff. Right. Again, it's all about value. It's all about self-worth. So you started to see that implode. So natural intelligence, again, triggered this. It wasn't because of the governments. It wasn't because they printed, but what was the reason why they printed? Because they knew something was coming up. They knew that the new consciousness was coming through, and they go, shit, we better prepare for that. Okay. They're not really dumb out there. They're insidious, but they're not dumb. They're highly intelligent on, say, the frequencies that are out there. Right. So again, natural intelligence triggered this collapse to show humanity that no fiat, no title, no stock market, not buying shoes or Gucci's can replace the truth of who you are. Not about how many cars you have, how many women you have, Andrew Tate, or anything like that. Again, it's true value. So that was the first wave. Second wave came 2022, 2024, the collapse of identity, right? This is where gender is blurred. This is where I don't know how many different labels that you got, LGBT and then LGBTXQ. I can't even pronounce them anymore. Them, they, she, who, we, right? So again, all these labels multiplied, identity dissolved into confusion. Again, a lot of shit came out, a lot of confusion of not just a sexual identity, but a ton of identity issues like who am I? What am I worth? What kind of, where do I live? Is this spouse right for me? My kids, I don't know if I need them or want them. Why did I have kids? All those crazy, why am I in this career? Right? I need to change jobs. Okay. This was not liberation, by the way. Right? This was not, say, the left telling you, "Oh yeah, you're this, and we should embrace that," and that's what we try to do. It wasn't about that. Literally, it was showing it was showing frequency dissonance, right? It was showing how distorted we are as a species. Again, as a species, searching for an anchor point in all the wrong places. That's what it all was about. Okay. Again, the real identity was never external, and that's what natural intelligence was showing us. Real identity was never external. It was always encoded in our frequency signature. So what was happening there again is like all the garbage that we're not was coming up, and it was showing how what ignorant we actually are. Again, I'm not dissing anybody who is, LGBT or anything like that. Okay. That's a real issue. But when you start to embrace those distorted identities, even heterosexuals were fucked up at this stage, right? It's like, what's a heterosexual? What's a guy? What's a woman? Again, we still don't know. And that's what XI is aiming to clear up. The third wave that I predicted, by the way. And I might have been off by the time frames, but it was here. So 2025, third wave 2025, the collapse of divinity. Remember when I said churches will fall, right? People at the top levels, people in the deep state, they'll start to die off, they'll start to fall off. Well, April 21st, 2025, the Pope dies at the same day, I get Klaus Schwab from Davos, right? The technocrat, basically, that ran the corporations, right? That ran, let's say, BlackRock and so on. Within hours, two of the most symbolic gatekeepers, guys, again, gatekeepers of global control, they both fell. And it wasn't a physical, it wasn't a human decision. It was literally like the wave coming so strong that those individuals go, fuck, we're out of here. We can't like control this anymore. Again, one representing religion, the other representing basically global economics. They ran the system, they ran the corporations, they ran the governments. So again, collapsing. And you'll see a lot more collapsing, by the way. But by the way, this is no coincidence. This is the official start of the third wave. It is the death of like fake gods, um, false spiritual infrastructure, false and by fake gods I mean the CEOs, the Instagram models, the Andrew Tates, all those things. Again, it's the down. It's you'll start to see the downfall of all the gods we adhere to, right? The gods that you adhere to. So again, so what's being resurrected instead? It's not a church. It's not an ideology. It's not anything human. But again, back to natural intelligence, back to who we are supposed to be if we would follow the path of least resistance. Again, back to, say, the level of nature's consciousness, weird way down here. Okay. So who rises from here? They haven't been forgiven. Okay. Um, the ones that have been forgiven. Not and that's who will rise. Not your standard definition of forgiveness, but the XI definition of forgiveness. And I'll talk about that in a bit here. But those who rise are not religious, they're not political, they're not gendered, they're not labeled. They're attuned. They're attuned to the frequency of who they are. who they actually should have been, right? They are free. And by freedom, what I'm talking about is those individuals who understand the laws of natural intelligence, the physics of natural intelligence. That's where freedom comes from. Freedom does not come from where you can do anything that you want, all that. You have to abide by, say, the rules and laws of natural intelligence or the consciousness that came into this reality, and it's been proven billions of years. Right? So that's what freedom is. When you can abide by those laws, you become free. Right? Imagine a skateboarder or anything with to do with physics, right? They can do anything they want, and they'll fuck up, they'll get hurt, they'll die. But if they abide by the rules of gravity in this case, they become free. You can look at them, they'll be jumping, they'll be doing whatever, they'll be doing spins in the air. It's like, oh my God, freedom. Right. How do they get free? By abiding to the laws of the physics. Once you abide to the laws of the physics of natural intelligence, you become free. Does that make sense for you all? That's what's important. In today's world, what the left wants you to think is like, you freedom. Oh yeah, go do whatever you want. Go eat whatever you want. We'll create a drug for that. It's not freedom. That's actually imprisonment. That's how they get you. Okay. All right. So in that case, once you have freedom, you'll start to know how to swim the ocean of consciousness. Right? And I'll talk about the ocean of consciousness next week. It's really, really important. They harmonize with the source, like I talked about. They move in precision with the currents of natural intelligence. Again, this is where you see those amazing, say, gymnasts and amazing individuals, or those individuals who are in the flow, creating great arts, great performances. Many of you are coming into where you're just in the flow more and more. Parenting, even, right? Parenting becomes a flow. It's quite amazing. Your whole life becomes a flow. And from them, well, we'll rise to a new architecture of humanity. It's in this architecture, again, it's not built on burden, sacrifice, anything like that, but it's built on resonance, frequencies, coherence, and truth. So we're not watching the end. We are watching the end of, say, what we knew. What we know was not true. And we're witnessing the return of who we should be. So it's really, really fantastic, guys. All right. So it is a resurrection. By the way, true forgiveness, peak performance, peak performance, peak performance, forgiveness for peak performance. If you're carrying a lot of burdens, by guys, you cannot be in peak performance. You cannot attune to peak performance. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's go into shedding the old self, embodying the resurrection frequency. We'll go to Tasha first. Hey, honey, how are you?
Hi, hi guys. Hi, Mas.
All
Very
right.
good to see you. I've been your long many years. I call myself student, so you're my mentor, and I thank you for all the work I done with you and every shift I made. It made me who I am today. So very appreciative. So I came today to shade another old self
Okay.
to move forward.
Awesome. Is
Mhm.
there anything specific, or do you just want me to scan you and see
So
where?
yes, actually a little bit of both, but main it would be that time came for me to shift to my new abilities. I work
Mhm.
with people. I read people. You multiple times told me before that you see like my abilities and stuff,
Mhm.
and I feel that I have some programs
Yeah.
in my head still. I do a lot of work, but they kind of will hold me back. It's almost like I'm ready, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. So take a breath in. And again, all those, Sasha, I don't know if you did Healing Mastery, but it's a great course, guys. Healing Mastery, if you're in a health field, if you're planning on, well, healing yourself or others, Healing Mastery would be the way to go. So in this
I done
case,
it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Done it 3 years, I think, or 4 years ago, which very first one of yours. Yeah, it was amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a whole line of courses, guys. Again, healing mastery for the healing professional. This is where you don't carry on the burdens and so on. And literally, Tasha, that's what I see. Parallels what you were talking about, or what you're, say, trying to get into. We'll just push you into that space. All right. So take a deep breath in. So think of it this way, hon. Individuals like you, okay, the ones that are rising, the ones that are going to be again swimming in a sea of consciousness rather than drowning in a sea of consciousness. What's happening for you, Tasha, is that again, take a breath in. What's happening for you, hon, is that you are getting ready to go on to, say, the stage of reality. Okay, so the old consciousness, just imagine a play. Okay, the old consciousness was a play, and that act is moving out, and we are well, we've been preparing. Right? We've been preparing for years. For me, for the past 14 years, we've been preparing for this time. Now, this is where we show what our abilities are, what possibilities can be, and really create a new paradigm. We don't have to sacrifice. We don't have to say control. We don't have to be controlled, and we can't be in lack. Much like you in your life back in the day, before XI, it was always about sacrifice. It was always about giving up. It was always about shortchanging you to, say, hang out with other people, or, have a career, or, do whatever what humans do in this reality. Does that make sense for you? So,
Definitely.
so you're very different nowadays. You're not sacrificing whatever that you do. You grow and expand into a higher version of who Tasha is. Does
Definitely. Hmm.
And this is where you also have changed the way you've aged, from what I'm seeing as well. You are not going through, you're not going through into, say, the patterns of, I don't want to say your mom, but your aunt. I don't know if you look similar to your aunt.
I
Um,
did look just like my mom, but through a lot of frequency stuff with you, a lot of your programs, like even my face structure has changed for, I would say, past like 4 years since 2022. So it worked.
Exactly. So again, a beautiful woman. And I'm sure your mother's beautiful as well. It's not like, oh, but the essence, the presence of you, and again, that changes your face structure, your body structure. So this is where, again, your mom, I see your mom as your aunt, literally. Your mom doesn't feel like your mom for some reason. So I think you were kind of a more of a friend type relationship, or she didn't
Yeah,
really take care of you as a daughter. You were kind of like at the same level. So that's why.
sure. Yeah.
So breathe in, hon. Notice your neck. So in this case, what I was helping you with frequency wise is again letting go of the distortions, um, or the last. When you're ready to go on stage, uh, just like we were, Alex, my son, he was counting down, telling me, "Hey, you got 3 minutes before you go on stage." We were preparing and all that. So now you are preparing. So you let go, you fine tune who you are, you let go of some of the old patterns, some of the old concepts of who you are, the old identities of like healing, because you're just getting into healing, or you've been doing it for a while. Which one?
I have been for some time, probably since 2021, I would say. And past 2 years, it's been really deep. Like I know the abilities open up. I'm still learning, how to like work with them. And it's constantly different upload. It's almost like every month, like I feel like different, like a different like version, slowly but molely. And now I feel that this month, like a few weeks ago, was like then your path is over, new chapter. I'm like, oh my god, what else is there? But and then my body start like feeling like all the energies, but my body is like takes some time to process this, if it makes sense. So like sometimes I have like all kind of issues, like I feel like it. um so yeah, I need
Oh,
to kind of shed it off,
yeah.
whatever
So
holds me back.
yeah, that's what I was talking about. Again, it's time to go on stage. This is that third wave that I was talking about earlier. Literally, we are ready to go on stage and show the world what can happen, actually. Right. So this is where you are, again, a lot of changes in a very short period of time, because there is a time, there is a moment, and we will feel it. April, May, June. Around June, July, literally, it's like an earthquake of time that happens. Take a breath in, hon. And then people all around the world literally will, it's like a calling. And then this is where time functions change. Okay. So that's the deeper science. For you, you want to be at your most optimal self when you come on stage. You and again, millions of others, people who have awakened, who have a high XIQ. So what I'm doing here for you, Tasha, is literally downloading a lot of programs for you right into this area because that's how you feel through people. So when you, back in the day, when you were working on people or when you loved for people or when you took care of people, this area, you would basically absorb all their garbage and then you would morph into their garbage. For example, if they have heart issues, you would start to feel chest pain. You know, a lot of healers are like that. They feel the issues in their own body. It's okay, but you don't want to do that continuously. Like I work on, I don't know, 40, 50 people a day, right? You don't want to do that because your body gets disoriented, distorted. That's the patterns that you used to do, by the way. And I think your aunt or your mom, whoever, used to actually feel for people like that, by the way, and it burdened the hell out of her. Okay. So you're going, shit, okay, it's a nice ability, but I don't want to do that. But I want to be nice and I want to be kind to people. So in this case, what I'm helping you with, again, downloading information specifically for you. And again, if you're listening, if you're feeling the vibe, what I'm helping you with, others in the audience, what I'm helping you with, wait a second, why do I have to absorb? Why do I have to take their sample or their frequency and put it in me? Because it distorts me. Why don't I just spatial reference? And we teach this. Um, in a lot of the courses that we do, basically where you will be an observer of their frequency out here. So it's outside of your space. Does that make sense? And I think this is where you, Tasha, might have gotten to a point where, let's see, yeah, where you might have not liked people or you might have pushed people away.
Mhm.
So take a breath in. So in this case, again, that pushing away is basically it's like, no, I don't want to take on your frequencies. As a note too, your parents die, when they get old, they'll die. Whenever that happens, we all die. They, in that scenario, basically you would have morphed into your mother, so to speak, and aged the way she would have. And then you would have passed that on to your kids if you've got kids. In this case, you're disconnecting all of that and you're just going, nope, I don't want that stuff. This is so you only pick what you want out of them and then you pull that in. And this is where you get to learn from their distortions as you help them. That's true healing, by the way. Right? Because you look at some person that needs healing and you go, wait a second, is there something that I need that needs healing as well? And then you figure out how to heal it within your own body. Okay. And then that frequency, once that clicks in, and that's what I'm helping you download, how to heal it or how to forgive properly of the distortions that you are. And then what you're doing is literally giving that complete frequency that you healed from back to your client. And they go, oh, I can be whole as well. Right? That's what true forgiveness is, or true healing is, and that's what, again, that's how Jesus healed people. He forgave them, so to speak. Okay, or basically, he didn't forgive them because it wasn't his frequency. He allowed them to hold a space so they can forgive. So what you are going to be doing again is here. I'm holding a safe space where I've already the environment around you is say clean or healed as they step into your space, not into your physical form, but into your space that you're creating, whether it's online or just around you. They'll go, "Oh, I see how you're doing it frequency wise," and this is where they get to heal themselves. Um, right now, again, you're beautiful, but people are just coming up to you and just gravitating towards you, or maybe even asking you questions, if that makes sense. Just random people. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I have people around me. I teach classes and stuff, and people do come. But you're right. It took me a lot of time to learn how to not to give up the body and my frequencies. I guess like just like you said before, not to go, not to take everything on myself. Yeah, it was a.
Exactly.
Mhm.
How many of you out there, by the way, are starting to see, especially if you've done healing mastery, you're starting to see that people will just like naturally gravitate towards you, right? Especially like younger people or kids, they'll just like look at you because they want the frequency, okay? Not your frequency, but they want to resonate in the frequency that you are now. Again, comment in is pretty crazy, right? On how, again, and that's true healing. And true healing happens, guys, when this is true healing, and this is what you're getting into, Tasha. So breathe in. Just want to work on your belly. I don't know if your mom has gut issues or you, but you're getting rid of all that stuff, by the way. Does your mother have gut issues?
She has
Um,
all kind of issues. It's like crazy.
well, her main issue of all the other issues that her gut just we won't get into it, but basically her gut is really it's just really messed up.
Well, my
Hence,
father actually, sorry, I just remember from my father had the cancer, so he had like removed some of the gut.
so it could be your father's frequency. Anyway, getting rid of all that in you, or getting all the memories in you. Again, people you love at a very deep level, since you're opening up now. Let's just get rid of all that stuff for you as well. Okay, huh? So that makes sense, right?
Perfect. Yes.
So we'll go on to what is it? What's his
Vas
name?
Vasily.
Masati?
Vasa. Yeah.
Masati.
Okay, yes.
Right. So he doesn't speak English that well.
Yes.
But so is there anything specific that he
Yes.
wants you to work
I
on?
would
Or
say what he asked to work on because basically he said he's too comfortable for people. He sometimes, cannot say no. Like he helped so many people, and like you said, give away part of himself instead of,
yeah.
moving forward. hmm
So
Pleasing and so on.
him, I see like three or four personalities in him. So so in this case, basically what he's done, take a breath in, tell him to take a breath in, and just
Вдохни, выдохни, Вась.
his collarbone, throat area, okay, that area. And again, there's online, if you are running these patterns or if you're feeling the frequencies that I'm generating, and again, these are inception frequencies, not your normal frequencies. um, this will help you as well. Okay. So but see, for him, basically what's happened is like, from what I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, when you're young and you can't be who you are, because your parents basically dictate or tell you you have to be this way for them to love you, for example. So over time, basically, it's like, oh, I want mom to love me. Want mom to take care of me and so on. I don't want mom to leave me from what I'm seeing. There's always a sense of people leaving him or fearful or being not extreme abandonment, but it's like, shit, where are you? Or he might have actually been left alone when he was a kid from what I'm seeing. And then what you do is like, shit, I don't want to be left alone anymore. I better adapt to what mom needs, and that's one identity. And then it's like, oh, dad is something else. I need to adapt to what dad needs. And then it's like, shit. Okay, so I'll make two of myself. I'll adapt with mom. I'll be the way mom wants me. With dad, I'll be the way dad wants me. That makes sense for you? I don't know if that makes sense to him, but you can ask him real
Yeah, I
quick.
think it is like I will translate it deeply, but yes, that's exactly what he's saying, that he's constantly like it's like a pattern following him that he has to please people. hmm
So again, perfect. You said it really well. So a people pleaser. What is a people pleaser in XI? Exponential intelligence science basically is like you look at that person and you go, oh, they want me to please that person. They need me to be X, Y, and Z. And then you just adapt that thing, and it's like, oh, I'm X, Y, and Z. You literally morph or a chameleon into, say, that person, right? But that's not
Mhm.
the real. Now, there's different versions of it. You know, the sadistic type people, they actually become you so they can control you. So, which is fucked up. But again, he's not like that. He just wants to help people. Okay. And the
Yes,
reason,
that's another thing. He wants to help everyone, he said, but like instead of make them to do their job. So he's basically a savior all
yep,
the time.
yep. So basically, he takes on other people's burdens to please them, to help them. But then what happens is they just make more burdens, and then he's stuck with the burdens that they gave him. Okay. So again, take a breath in, guys, and you in the audience, think of it this way. Wow. At 13, 14, for him, and then we'll just come back at 13, 14, or maybe 15, around that age, 13 to 15 years of age. It's almost like he started to please, say, somebody else, or, morph into, you know how teenagers do, right? They don't have an identity, so they morph into a group. So again, he morphed with several people at the same time. So which kind of fucked him up as well. Um, so again, he's got like three, four identities. Again, it's like, oh, that person. So he's simplified it. So basically, it's more efficient. It's like, oh, that person's kind of like my mom. Oh, okay, I remember what I was like with mom, and just boom, he represents himself the way his mom wanted it. And then it's like, oh, that person's like my dad. Okay, so he's got like literally four, say, avatars that he just like switches through. But the reason why he wants to help people at a very, very deep level, he's a kind person, but it's like, shit, I want to meet somebody that is me so I can copy their pattern, and then I can be me, and then I can stop searching. So that's why he wants to help people.
He
Okay.
actually says a lot that when he work with someone, he can copy them and do the same thing. He says this a lot.
Yep. It's a really great ability to have, but again, if you're just scratching the surface of that ability or doing it half-ass, it's not beneficial for you. Okay, so in this case, again, he's new. I think he's new to me, right? Um,
Yes, first time, very first time.
So again, he's going to change a lot because again, he's your friend, and you've already adapted, so he's going to learn from you. So tell him to just take a breath in, and again, notice this upper area, and then down his esophagus. I don't know if he
Yeah.
has or something as well. I'm not a doctor, but it just seems like he has heartburn or tension down his, pipe, his throat pipe, his esophagus or digestive tract. So. uh,
Василий, подыши, пожалуйста, и подержи внимание на груди, в шее и так далее. У тебя там есть какие-то проблемы с органом этим вообще?
У меня шея ломаная. Грудной отдел
Что?
позвоночника тоже ломаный.
He said his spine was broken in this area.
Oh, okay. So that's what
Мгм.
it is. So let's work on that as well because there's just like so when I see him again for those healing mastery, so what I see literally it's better than say an MRI and stuff. I see the resonance or the frequency of say distortion or tension. So it's kind of like a scab. If he's broken in that area, then it creates a scab, but that scab is of memories that have been frozen in say your cell. So let's get rid of that as well. Again, not a doctor or anything, but in this case, what he'll probably experience is the pain coming back, like he actually heard it again, but it literally is where that's releasing the pain that was, say, trapped in the healing, releases, and then he actually gets to feel better in that spine or in that area. Okay. Yeah. And then a lot of times people who have like scars and so on, again, the scars are because the skin holds on to the memories and it gets hardened in there. So a lot of times people scarring, by the way, those who have scars and then your scars disappeared, that's how it happened, right? So comment in if your scars disappeared after XI. So this will like release the internal scars that he has, okay? Because again, all the people that he's adapted to, it's inside him. That makes sense to you? And this is just like shit. How many people do I have? You know, there's people who have platelet. He's not one of them, but like they get blood infusions or platelet infusions. I see thousands of people in those because again they don't filter out the frequency. So tell them to take a breath in.
Вдохни сейчас. Хорошо, глубоко.
So in this case, what we're doing, okay, is one, releasing all, say, the people that he's like brought into his body. Okay? In that case. Two, he might not like people initially. Just like you, it's like, nope, you can't come in, right? Because that was the old me. So that's one thing. And then afterwards, what'll happen is that again he'll see things from the outside, okay, but the most important thing with his abilities that he has of again just copying, okay, and again he'll need another session, but basically he'll see somebody and he'll go, oh, I like that frequency, that thread of that person. So in this case, for him, instead of absorbing everything of that person, okay, he basically goes, oh, I like the way that guy dresses. Okay. And then it's like, oh, what's that knack? He's got something about how he speaks, or you can copy, say, like for example, Donald Trump's success mechanisms. It's like, oh, I like the way he makes money, or I like the way he speaks, whatever it is. It's like he starts to say focus in on a specific frequency of the person. And again, we teach this at the higher levels, especially if like your high level CEOs and stuff. You have this propensity, and then what happens is like, oh, I'll copy that, and then he tries that on a specific frequency, like say high level success, or where success comes easy for a person. Copy that. He copies that frequency and brings it into him. He morphs into that frequency. If he likes that frequency, it's like, oh, yeah, I like this frequency. I'll keep it. So it's like trying on clothes, you right? It's like, oh, let me try this clothes on. Oh, didn't work out. Nope, I'll try something else. Okay. Rather than just, yeah, I'll try this one on. I'll try this one on. And basically it's like, shit, this didn't fit, this didn't fit, this didn't fit. And then you're stuck buying the garment again, you're stuck buying, and that's where he is. His literally closet is full. I bet he holds on to a lot of stuff physically, by the way. He'll also clean out his apartment or house or whatever and just clean shit out. So in this case, what I'm helping you, one, again, disconnect from all the patterns that he's held on to. Two is adapt the new frequency or the real frequency of what his abilities are like. It's like, yep, that's the thing I want. Imagine how fast you could learn. That's what kids do. Literally, it accelerates evolution if you can adapt and not make the mistakes of your parents. Literally, right? But we don't use it that way. So people who are like him or empathic, they just like hold on to everything. Being an empath is really a great gift, but for many, it's a curse because again, many people scratch the surface or they do it half-ass. So in this case, what I was helping him with again is like hone in a particular frequency. So what he can experience or what you can translate later, hon, just because of time. Basically, he'll just have him observe a person. And you all can do this listening, okay? Have him and observe a person, like an actor or whatever, whoever he admires, okay? Whoever he admires. And then go, what is it particular about that person? Okay? Frequency wise, I've already adjusted him. cognitively, I want to, he needs to train himself at this level. And then write down the things that he likes, the things that he doesn't like about that person. Even if it's just a picture, you can get the vibe off that person. Okay. And then when that happens, you'll go, oh, I get it. And then he just keeps studying that person over and over. You don't go, oh yeah, I like it. Come on in. It's like, no, I want to test this garment out first. And then he'll literally filter out a specific frequency. And it's like, oh, that's what I want. You want a distilled frequency of their essence, not their essence. That makes sense to you? Good.
Perfect sense, I
So
think.
that's what he'll do. So those are one frequency wise. I've adjusted him and many of you out there as well. Obviously, we can go deeper. Physically, you guys will have to do that on your own. I can't do that for you. Okay. And again, reflection sessions, private sessions can do that. Did that make sense for you? All right.
It makes perfect sense. It's so informative. Thank you so much because you explain it very well in details, how it works. And it's also always amazing, to listen to you because it makes a lot of sense.
And this will help you and many other individuals who are in the healing realm or like CEOs, dealing with business and all that. All right. Wonderful,
Yeah.
guys. Very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, hopefully when we're in New York, I know he's in Kazakhstan, but in New York, we'll probably do private sessions or whatever out there. So, all right.
Oh, wait, seriously, waiting for you here. We'll get some people in Kazakhstan as well. Welcome. He is a pretty big person there, so we will be happy to see you anywhere.
Let's do it. I'd love to come to Kazakhstan, man. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. So back to you all. Again, do you see? Again, most things just scratch the surface, but think of it. Okay. Say you're a woman and it's huge because, again, everything, like I said, the third wave, we have to come of our own, who we are. But look, I was looking at all the women who are like high level CEOs, okay, or they're high level CEOs or they're of the blue blood. They all fucking look like men. It's crazy, right? Look at Oprah. Look at all those individuals. They have this masculine frequency to them. So what they did, okay, was exactly what Vasily did, basically. Well, and what they do is like, oh, I want to be successful. Oh, and success in the human species is, oh, you have to be a man. Success is a masculine. How many times have you heard that, right? Success, security, right? Strength is a masculine trait. Let's get away from those titles, by the way. Success is just a frequency. Again, so women can learn from, say, men, because it was a man's world out there, right, in the beginning, and go, oh, well, what did they do right? What did they do wrong? Oh, I want that, again, a purified frequency of success. No other bullshit along with it. Okay. And then you put that on a woman, and that woman becomes more feminine. Okay. And this is where the distortion, not just gender inequalities, again, LGBT and all those versions that are out there that are valid still, but this is the reason why those situations happen. It's because, we adopt all the distortions of that person, not just say the purified version of what we need. So women become more and more masculine, right? And I love like Elaine Cardone. What a beautiful woman. She's a man. Again, and that's why Grant and Elaine Cardone, they literally, when you see them, it's like shit. They might have toned down a bit lately, but again, back in the day, if you look at older videos, it's like they're like two guys going at it. It's like, what the fuck, And again, a beautiful woman. How many of you out there, again, beautiful women, but you have that masculine frequency? Look around you. Look at all the high-level CEOs. CEO of AMD. The micro devices, advanced micro devices, all those high level CEOs, they fucking look like men. Kind of crazy, right? The deep state, all the women out there, again, they look like men. And they probably did more deeper things than that, by the way. All right. So let's go on to, we'll take some time. We'll work on you all. So all you have to do is if you want me to scan you, see where you are, to resurrect the true frequency of who you are, because that's what it's about, right? The resurrection is not of a man coming out of the grave. And he predicted this, right? Jesus, the resurrection is literally about again, the consciousness, a resurrection. Resurrection is all about, and I talked about this past, the last Sunday, resurrection is all about bringing back the consciousness or the potential of what we could have been if we would have followed, say, the guidelines of natural intelligence, basically nature, but we didn't. So now we have a chance to go, okay, this is where we are. And again, it's not like where we fucked up. Again, it's free will. We didn't have to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. So this is a chance to, again, be free of ourselves. For we will be forgiven of, say, our sins, in this case, our mistakes and destructions. It's not like we get destroyed, we get punished, we go to hell. Although we can talk about that again next week as well. So again, next week's show, talk about all that. But this is literally about letting go of the distortions that you're not, and then bringing in, again, resurrecting yourself the way you should be. Right? So again, a lot of people want scan. Obviously, I can't do all of you, but let's see. Sherry Lewis, Miss Cammy, thank you. As I know my abilities, I don't need to know anything about you. I don't even need to know your name, really. So Sherry, please scan me. Thank you. So um, uh, you always have this pattern of of uh, yeah, it's a condescending pattern, basically. So men, you're always like a step below, if that makes sense. So there's always a masculine frequency or an authority figure, let's just call it, mostly masculine, that you're always, say, submissive to. So in that case, what you've done, Sherry, is literally going with XI, what you've done is like, shit, I don't need to be, again, one step down. I could be at the same level or even higher than that person, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, even if you're like an expert, even if you were like, say, the president of your own company, somebody else comes by and you lower yourself to that lower standard, no matter what it is. So in that case, Sherry, what you're doing literally is like, nope, I own myself. I am the expert of who I am. I am the expert in my life. So congratulations. So what I was helping you with, Sherry, is like, yep, step up. In this case, what you have to do is that you will get into situations or opportunities for you to speak up, act up, and do all those things that you need to do to go, yep, this is the authority, and then you own it. So do the psychological things, okay? Which is really fantastic. All right. Um, this one says now scan me. So now breathe in wherever you are. All right. So I don't know how old you are, but it seems like you got stuck or you are of this age, like in your 20s. So again, you could be 40s, in your 40s, but something happened to you in your mid to late 20s that just got like stuck and you just recycle. So say something happened to you around 26 or 27. Okay. And again, comment in. Okay. See how accurate. I know I'm accurate, but it's good for other people to go, oh shit, how did you know that? Because it allows the consciousness to expand. So we all have these abilities that I do, because we all have these abilities that I do, by the way. All right. So for you, when something happened, say at 27, 26, 27, and then say you're in your 40s, or say that you are 27 and you get older, but basically you just repeat 27 over and over and over and over and over again. This is where your life might feel stagnant. This is like no matter what you do out here, in your later years, you're still, say, again, 27. So let's disconnect you from that moment, whatever that moment is. It could have been, say, a death of something or the ending of something, and you attached whatever it could be. again, death of something or someone or death of a relationship, um, excuse me, a death of a possibility. Excuse me. So what that means is that what you took it as is like the death of yourself. So basically the death of time for you. Okay. So, but you're still physically bound. So you just keep repeating, you just keep hitting that wall and just keep repeating it, repeating it, repeating it. So take a breath in on. By the way, guys, the water is really good. Um, it's Afghan saffron. You put it just a little bit in your water. It's really good for you. Um, Hopefully it'll help my throat. All right. So that's where you are now. So what I was doing with you now is like disconnecting you. So you'll probably go back and recreate what happened, in your not in your mind, but in dimension of time, and then say release you of that moment. Okay. This is JR. Been a long time. Please scan me, please. So yeah, JR. So again, uh, so I think back in the day, you took a lot of, say, content from XI, which is really fantastic, and then you took it on your own and proved it to yourself. So in this case, again, in this case, what's happened is, you grew from XI, and it's like, okay, I want to go prove myself because you want to prove things to yourself. Basically, that's what you are. You need to see it firsthand. So again, and you've gone, shit, this stuff really works, at every level because again, it's all first principle with XI. So what you've done is like, okay, it's proven the world is changing, and now I want to come back and learn more and access, the higher accesses. So take a breath in, JR. This is also what's happening for you is that you are actually acknowledging or wanting, now that you understand what life is about, to go, you know what? I don't need to age like society does. So you're actually observing society and going, fuck, they're fucked up. They're doing things half-assed. I don't want to do that. I want to know the deeper truths. So a lot of you, again, are coming back to go, damn, I need to know the deeper truth. So nice job. Congratulations. All right. So let's see here. Amy, can I get it? Oh, sorry. Can I get a scan on my progress, please? Yeah. So Amy, you are really doing really, really good. Fantastic. By the way, you cleaned up in a very short period of time, but you just need that confidence. You just need somebody to tell you um, that it's okay to be on your own and make your own decisions. Okay, so take a breath in because you're always questioning if you're doing. So basically, it goes into, I mean, you're always questioning if you're a good person or a bad person. Okay. So I think in back, say your parents or grandparents comes from a strict religious paradigm or a good person, bad person, right? And you're always like, or your mom might have said like, you know, be a good girl. If you're not a good girl, this is what'll happen for you. So it's always that, carrot stick. And it's okay if it's done right, but again, no, normally it's just done half-ass. So in this case, you're always like, "God, I don't know." And then, as you get older, it's like, shit, am I doing this right? I'm not sure because it's not feeling right to me, right? Because again, you're losing yourself, and you're conditioning to society standards. Okay, this is what the third wave is about. Again, you have to learn how to swim on your own. So what I'm helping you with here, Amy, is take a breath in, hon. Oh, and does your back curve? Yeah. So in your family, from what I'm saying, again, not a doctor, but what I'm seeing it literally is that as they age, you start to slump or shrink. So, and you're going, fuck, I don't want that either. So this is at the level of you going, you are going to start questioning rather than just following authority. You're going to be questioning authority and yourself and going, shit, that's not working. What's natural intelligence way of doing it? So nice job. Um, somebody was looking at saffron. Yeah, saffron is really, really amazing, guys. This one, Harpel Darwali, I done the 10 days, really fantastic. Again, so for the 10 days that we did, peak performance, guys. It's if you've done Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, many of those other individuals work, peak performance, the 10-day peak performance that we just got done, you can still do the recordings, guys. That will accelerate, that will accentuate what you've learned with all those great individuals. Okay. Again, it's not a replacement, right? This is an enhancement. What they teach you is the first half, okay, the surface level half of, the psychology. What I teach you is, say, the back end, the frequencies, your foundation of who you are. Okay. So in your case, Harpo, you've done the 10 days. You're starting to get traction. You're starting to go, oh, I get to see the underlying reasons on why stuff happens the way they do. Okay. Not just the surface reasons, but the underlying reasons on why they do what they do. So congratulations. In this case, I would just start again, keep asking questions and start to, and don't make decisions because you make decisions way too fast. Okay. Just be an observer. That's the best advice I can give you while I change your frequencies. Be an observer on how things happen rather than going, oh, this happened. It must be because of this, Pat, based on your previous experiences or society's experiences. You don't want to do that. Okay. True scientists like Einstein and so on, all those individuals, they just observe. They go, yep. Even the simplest things. You know what genius is? Genius is just being an observer. They observe something and then they allow it to sit. Okay. Many of those great inventors, by the way, they just observed all and then they went to sleep. They let their higher self go through the process and then they got feedback. They trained themselves to get, when they wake up, it's like, oh, that's the solution. Okay. Again, you're tapping into, say, the universal database rather than the human database. Right. Just think what's on the internet is what AI taps into, and it's AI's world. But what's beyond AI? You want to tap into that intelligence, that knowledge base, not just human base database. And this will allow you to do that for you. All right. All right. This is Zen 13. Can you please work on my 14-year-old nephew? Oof. One, yeah, sure. Take a breath in. Not a doctor or anything like that, but oof, the mother is feels very insecure or unstable. She almost feels like really vicious. Okay. I think, and again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but the female frequency. So again, it could be his dad. So yeah, it could be his dad. But the deal is, so the female frequency, right, of the parent, they have some kind of like bacteria or something happening. Again, could be way off, could be a crazy man. But what I'm seeing is that bacteria in their brain, it creates a lot of anxiety or viciousness in them. Okay. All right. So that's one thing. So again, you might want to have them checked. Okay. Okay. So the problem is with your nephew is that he's basically scared of being in the house. It's like, holy shit, like that's not my mom or that's not my dad, right? And then this is where they get, say, uneven. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things that I see in your nephew. It's just not a safe environment. And then when kids aren't in a safe environment, well, what the hell happens? Like, shit, where am I going to go? Right? Because the hand that feeds you also could destroy you. And that's a scary feeling, by the way. Okay. By the way, that's how they've treated God. The hand that, say, creates you also can destroy you, which is true. But when you have that fear like that, it doesn't work out well. It never works out well. So in this case, take a breath in for your nephew. The other thing, when he was a kid, from what I'm seeing, it just seems like he doesn't eat any fats, or so his very depleted. So fat, getting away from sugars, especially false sugars or genetically modified sugars for him will really, really help him. So what I was doing with him is starting to understand who he is, not compared to his parents' environment, but who his propensity is, because he's only 14 years old, right? So allowing him to say rule his own life, basically, versus going, oh, I need to copy mom and dad's patterns. It's like this is me, right? And that's mom and dad. So reawakening what we should have, what we know or question at 6 or 7. So he will feel a little younger. And then once he does do that, it's like, oh, mom's acting that way. Um, I don't have to attune to it. I can just understand that she's acting this way. What can I learn from it? Rather than getting, say, swamped with that. Okay. But I would check the virus. We'll do one more. This- yes, his mom. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nice lady, but something bacterial is affecting her emotional state. Okay, so yeah. All right. This is illuminated days. Would you scan me, please? Sure. So for you, hon, well, just like your name. So basically, you see the illumination outside of you, hon, not inside of you. In you, maybe that's why you picked your name, because it's like you kind of feel dark on the inside, right? There's a gloominess that you're always trying to escape. So imagine that. Close your eyes, take a breath in, uh, all of you, whoever wants to do this. Basically, it's like, oh, I see the brilliance and the possibilities that are out there for me, but I'm stuck in this hole. Okay. I think actually for you, hon, it comes from a previous lifetime where you might have actually been in prison for something because your life feels like it's always in prison, or it's like, gosh, they're having fun. I want to have that fun too. And sometimes physically, you go out there and push and do your fun stuff, but then when you get back home, it's like, oh, I'm still in prison. Right. So again, a lot of people go, when I tell people they're fearful, I go, hell no, Moss, I'm not fearful. Right. And this isn't you, Illuminated Days. I'm just working on you. But it was like, no, I went skydiving. I did this. I started a company. It's like, well, yeah, because you're proving to yourself that you're not fearful, but at a deep level, your core reason on why you do all that stuff is because fear runs you and drives you and propels you. Okay. Again, a lot of CEOs, leaders run from that fear state, by the way. Okay. They don't want to be poor. They don't want to be this. They don't want to be that. Therefore, they are that. So it's the opposite. So the same thing with you, hon. Take a breath in. So why don't we just release you because it is a past life issue? Okay. Let's just release you from, say, that imprisonment. It does seem either you or, again, hereditary, somebody was in prison or locked down and they could only see, say, the light of day out there. They couldn't enjoy it. Okay. So in this case, it's a time function value, not a mental issue. So I bet just even in this session, hon, you'll just go, shit, I'm free. Right. So take a breath in. Let's unlock you, whoever else that's there. All right. 2, 3, 4. Okay. There we go. All right. And again, commenting on accuracy. All right, guys, we have to move on. Last piece, Alex, if you can post that thing, the vaccine deal. It's really, really kind of crazy. It's really, really sad, but not exactly sure. Again, if this is true or not, because you never know what's on the internet. But I've heard it from other people. By the way, okay, thanks, buddy. So this is again, this is why your doctor gets aggressive. Blue Cross Blue Shield pays your doctor 40,000 bonus for fully vaccinating 100 patients. Okay. So again, it's driven by, say, money, which is really, really sad. Okay. So, but here's the problem. It's not about that. I know that's atrocious, but here's the problem with that, guys. And this is where again, forgiveness for peak performance comes in. Okay, the problem is that you're destroying somebody's potential, especially, a young child's potential for your benefit. That is very destructive. That's talking about going to hell, guys. Okay. Again, so this is where true forgiveness happens. But imagine this. Okay. And this is where it gets really, really dark. Okay. And that's why you want to be forgiven properly. Okay. One component of that. Okay. The doctor, okay, he's like, shit, I don't care. I just want to make money. And so on and so on. And then all is validated. It's like, well, I have a family too. I need to survive too, and all that stuff. Right. So that's what people do in today's society. That's just a grotesque version of it, right? People go, well, um, there's a cure for cancer, but cancer is, a billions of dollar industry. What are all those people gonna do if we cure cancer? So basically, again, all those people that work for, say, cancer companies, it's like, yeah, and they know about it. Again, there's a lot of people that don't know it. But again, just think of those things in society. Well, we need to do this and that. We can't do it. So, it's sure it abuses or destroys people, but again, we need it for our own survival. Basically, that's what you're telling. The U.S., unfortunately, gone to wars for its own survival, for its own sustainment. Again, Trump's doing a fantastic job. The next step is, again, helping all those countries that, again, the U.S. have destroyed in the day for their own survival. Okay. That's the kind of forgiveness that I'm talking about. But here's the problem. When you forgive improperly or in today's society, it's crazy, crazy shit. Okay. What'll happen? Okay. So that doctor, say he affects, I don't know how many hundreds of kids, right? Hundreds of kids, got a bigger practice. So thousands of kids. Okay. So in today's forgiveness, as the resurrection comes in, you have to give back, okay, the distortions that you created. So again, that doctor, all the distortions that that doctor created in that person, in that baby. And again, what'll happen is all the distortion. And say each kid owns 1,000, 1,000 pounds of distortion because of the vaccines and so on. By the way, I'm not against vaccines. I'm totally for vaccines. Uh, Natural intelligence type vaccines where they just give you a weaker dose of whatever, and then your body becomes immune to it and it strengthens. Okay. That vaccine I'm totally fine with. I don't know what these are. These aren't vaccines. I don't know what they are. Formaldehyde, mercury, all those things, plus many other substances. Those aren't vaccines. I don't know. They're poison pills. But that's something else. Okay. So if you're that sound, oh, he doesn't believe in vaccines. I totally believe in vaccines, but I believe in the science of vaccines, not the bullshit science. Okay. Back to what I was talking about. Each kid has, say, 1,000 pounds. Okay. You have what, 100 kids. That's a shitload. That's 100,000 pounds of burden that will be given back to that doctor. And you will see literally those types of doctors, those like Fauci and all those individuals, those people, okay, that go, shit, it's just the money, right? And that's all it is. You will see the burdens. They literally will age. It's no matter how young you are, if you were a doctor that did that, and that's just one example, okay? Literally, you will age because of the burdens. Again, 100,000 pounds of burdens. All right. So say Fauci and those people, right? That's like, yeah, go out doctors and push these doctors, whether willingly or not. It doesn't matter. Okay. So again, so 100,000 pounds just for that one doctor, that gets put on, say, the instigators, the pharmaceutical companies, all those individuals. Again, could you imagine the tonnage? And this is why, again, in my third wave, the prediction, they'll all be forgiven, but then they take back, they get recalled, they have to recall the distortions that they perpetuated. Okay. If you are, say, a loving parent, it's like, oh God, I'll leave. I want to keep my children safe. I got to give my children the vaccine. Same thing. Okay. Again, because of your because you didn't follow. Again, it's not about, oh, I love my child so much, but they lied to me and so on like that. It's the bottom line. Literally, it doesn't matter. You can justify anything you want. Obviously, it's a lighter, say, frequency of letting go of stuff because, again, you had the best intent, but not the right, say, process. So what happens there is you would have to take the burden of allowing your child to get into that situation. It's crazy, crazy shit. By the way, yeah, the vaccine after effects, guys, to help you help your children with that. We'll probably do one more because now I have more knowledge in the science behind the frequency science behind how vaccines work. So in that case, guys, forgiveness, it's going to be a bitch for a lot of people, but it also is a way of freedom. Okay. So whether you, and I'm just giving you extreme versions, but look at all the distorted, all the fuck ups that we've done in our life just because we didn't know better. Like, when I'm in my 60s and I look back, it's like, fuck, I can't believe I did that. Can't believe I did that. So what I went through, with my ex and all my bankruptcies and stuff, I was like, fuck. So when I went through this past year is literally like, shit, I gotta let go of those frequencies. And that's what I've done. It was painful, right? So you want to forgive right. And that's what this peak performance, forgiveness for peak performance, you want to let go of all that stuff in a proper way so you can ascend to a higher level. Okay. Even if you're one of those doctors that did that, you want to do it properly so you can ascend higher and not again take on those burdens. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, like this channel so we can grow more. And then also tell your friends about it. All right. All right, guys. Notice what you notice. Notice the details of what you're noticing. Peace.